I'm going to explain our Tyvek here and why we did certain things here. So we're doing vinyl siding, as you can see, and we have this first row on, and it's attached to a starter strip, not a J-channel. And it goes past the foundation line just a little bit so that the water rolls down to the foundation. We had a bunch of foundation issues in this job, but we've corrected them. So anyway, I wanted to talk about the Tyvek. So every house is unique, and Tyvek we do a little bit differently based on the wood substrate behind it. Now, this particular house does not have wood underneath of it, which is fine with vinyl siding, but it becomes a little bit of a problem when we deal with windows. Also with this house, they have these 18-inch overhangs on the eaves, so you can see this big soffit, and then we're putting a big 6-inch gutter up there. So the reason I'm saying all this is because we don't typically tape a window this way, but we're doing it in this job because of the overhangs, because of the bigger gutters, and because of the substrate underneath, which is just a foam board. So when we do Tyvek, first things first is we roll it out. We use these cap nails, and these guys we use every 3 feet. So you see 3 feet there, and then down 3 feet here, and then 3 feet over. And we like to stay away from around the windows, so you won't see too many nails here. Typically it's 9 inches. You want to stay away from a window when nailing these cap nails on. We also overlap these minimum of 6 inches. I think we've got the paper from here to here on this just because it was more convenient for us to run the paper from the top and then put the bottom piece in, because we had to repair all this underneath. So those are the fundamentals of how to put this paper on. Also, you'll see where there's a seam here, we'll overlap. That's minimum 6 inches. I think we have 8 here, and we tape everything with the Tyvek tape. Now, as far as this window is concerned, we had to cap this window. We actually replaced this window, and it's a replacement window, and around it and underneath of it was old wood sills, and we wanted to cap all that. So we capped it with these little legs here. So we made the metal. We made these kickouts here, and we did it on the sides as well, because the only way we can really get these windows as replacement windows tight is to put these little flanges on that run out, extend these little legs out on top of the paper. So we run our paper, put the legs, you can see them here, they're all around it, even the top, and then you can see we didn't tape the bottom, because if water ever gets in here, it can roll out underneath of here and roll down the paper and roll out into the foundation. The tops is what we typically don't do, is tape on top of the paper like that. Typically what we'll do is we'll pull the paper up, put the tape underneath, then put the paper back down and tape these cuts that we put on the sides. The reason we're doing this is because first, it's a replacement window. Second, the wood is not wood underneath, and this paper, the straight flash, doesn't stick to the fiberboard, which makes it kind of useless. And if we were to tape it to it, it would have voids in it, would catch water in there and leak anyway. So we've got these big overhangs as well, and big 6-inch gutters, and so we're not worried about this. We're worried about it functioning. So the tape in this case is on the outside of the paper, on the paper itself, and then over top of this kick out flange, which is, it runs along the top of that as well with our flashing. Some of the other stuff that you have to be careful of with windows or with corners is that this paper has to wrap around the corner a minimum of 12 inches. So you have to have it, you can't just stop it here and then bring another piece and stop it there. You can take one and stop it, but then the other one has to overlap around the corner a minimum of 12 inches, and then that gets taped down the corner. We do one step extra, and we use this Vicor Plus tape. It's a 12-inch tape. We run them on the corners inside and out, and you can see that there's a reason. Well, every time we put a nail in, we're creating a hole, and the amount of water that can run down here, down this wall, and run down into the ground is a good amount. And this is where it's all going to accumulate if it does. and it wants to run down this channel. Well, there's a bunch of nails here, right? And gravity's going to pull that water, but we don't want to give it a chance to get into the wall. So these nails actually seal like around the nail behind it. So that now even if water's running down here, it's not going to penetrate through this paper, through the Tyvek, and into the house. So that's the quick rundown of how we do Tyvek and the reasons we're doing the flashing tape at the top. This stuff is called straight flash. We like to use that on all the windows. This window is going to be removed in a year or so, and we don't typically like to do the flashing tapes around this, but it's known by both of us that this is going to be replaced. And then you can see the foam board here, and this foam board is Certainty's foam board. It's probably from the 60s or something. They had wood cedar siding on top of it, no underlayments. This was a mess. We had to rebuild this, and some of this is just temporary. But yeah, this is oh, one more detail that we do. So on any of these electrical boxes and utilities, I think this is cable and telephone, we'll take a PVC block. So we'll put all our paper on, take a PVC block. Typically we'll use a true 1-inch PVC sheet, a 4x10 sheet. We'll cut it, and then we'll put a bunch of this Vicor tape, this tape here, that's this black tape. We'll take that and we'll put it underneath, over top of the paper, then put our PVC block, and then mount these back on that PVC block. Because we don't want this stuff sitting on the siding, because it'll, specifically for this siding, because it's blue, the hotter it is, the more movement the siding's going to get, and then it's going to look kinked up over here if we screw right into it, because it's going to want to move. So by making this an independent piece of the wall, separate from the siding, we can eliminate any possibility of the siding looking bad as it moves because of the heat, specifically because this is a dark blue color siding. And we're using monogram D5. We like the double 5 a lot, and not it's just a straight panel, but it is this dark blue color, Pacific blue. So the sun loves to move those things around. Vinyl likes to move, and it will. So this is how we set up paper. This is how we set up light blocks. And also you'll see these openings here. Once we have the paper on, we'll tape some flex tape. It looks similar to the stuff we put around the windows, around any of these openings down here as well, where there's a hole in the siding, where we just want to make everything airtight. So we're taping it, we're sealing around any openings, and we cap nail everything with the Stinger nail gun, 1-inch nails to hold the paper. And that's pretty much it. And this is what it looks like with some siding on it. This is that blue siding I talked about on top of the paper.